Hey boys and girls, this is lesson 513, more multi-step multiplication number stories. Get that written in your notebook as well as today's date, and then come on back. Okay, on page 188 in your math journal, you'll find a couple charts and some information, so get there. And it says on this, it's planning a school fair. Ian and Sarita are planning the Quincy Elementary School Spring Fair. Ian gathered information about possible entertainers, while Sarita gathered information about possible food choices. They presented their information to the school principal in the tables below. So you have tables for the entertainment and a table for the food options. Okay? So here's a question for you. Based on that data, how much more would it cost to hire the tap dancers than the jugglers? How much more would it cost? Be sure to notice that the cost per hour is for each performer in the group. I think you'll know what I mean when you look at that chart closely. Try and solve that. I am going to come back and talk about how to do it. So if you're like, I don't know, okay, stay with me. If you think you get it, go ahead and give it a try. Pause this, do that, and then come back. So here's how I would be doing that. I would say, first I'm going to find, so what's the cost of hiring the tap dancers? And you can see I've written there that the tap dancers, there's 6 of them, and I'm looking for them for 2 hours, and they're $33 per hour per person. So that's my number story here that represents that. And then I would find the cost of hiring the jugglers, and there's 3 of them, 2 hours, $30 for each hour per juggler. So that's my number story with the unknown here. To solve it, I would have to subtract the cost of the jugglers from the cost of the tap dancers. So writing that out, it would be this equation solved minus this equation, right? And that would equal how much more? All right, so let's go ahead and do that math as well. So here's how I'd be solving that. 6 times 2 times 33. So I would start with the 2 times 33. I know that 3 times 2 is 6, so I can easily do this to be 66. Then I'm going to take that 66 times this 6, and I can do that with the partial products that I know pretty quickly, right? So hopefully you saw that that would equal 396. Here we go. On the next one, I would do 2 times 30 is 60. That's 60 times this 3 gives me 180. 396 minus this 180 leaves me with $216 more. It would cost me $216 more. Okay? So hopefully that's what you got. Let's look at another problem. That same kind of format, that's what I'm looking for you to try and do. I'm hoping you can very much follow this pattern of putting it all into one equation now. So try this on the next problem that you see. Clearly it won't be these exact numbers, right? But that style, try that. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. The first problem on Math Journal, page 188, it says, how much more would it cost to hire the tumblers than the singing group? Go through those same steps I just walked you through. Try and solve it all, and then when you get it, you'll be able to unpause the video and check it out because I'll be going over it. Okay? So here's what I'm saying. For the, for the tumblers, there's 8 of them. There's 8 of them, and they would be 3 hours of performing, and they're $22 an hour. That's where that equation is coming from. And here's the singing group. 4 of them, 3 hours, $16 an hour for each of them. That's going to equal the cost, right? I could use any letter I would like to there. So then when I do this, it tells you in the book you needed to estimate. So here's how I got my estimate. I said this 8 would become a 10 for me, times the 3 is 30. I'm going to round this 22 to a 20. So this 30 times the 20 gives me 600. For this, for my estimate, I know 4 times 3 is 12. I'm going to round that 12 to a 10. This 12 becomes a 10 for me because it's easy for my brain to do it. This 16 becomes a 20. So 10 times 20 is 200. So to give me my estimate, I would say 600 minus 200 equals 400. If yours is somewhat similar to that, great. If you change some of these numbers around to make it easier for you, that's okay too. These are just the way that I would have estimated them. You might not match mine exactly, but that gives me 400. So let's check it out in reality. What would it be? So the 3 times the 22 is 66. 66 times the 8. And the reason I do it that way is because I know this is going to give me 2 digits, and I'm going to have 2 digits times 1 digit. That's really easy for me to do in my head, so I can go ahead and work it out that way. If you want to do 8 times 3 and then do a 2 digit times a 2 digit, that's okay too. This just, I think, is a bit easier. That's the reason I'm picking it, okay? So when I do that, 66 times this 8 gives me 528. You could write that out and solve that if you'd like to, okay? If you don't know it off the top of your head, yes, you'd want to. And then this one, I'm saying I would do 3 times 16. Again, that's going to give me a 2-digit number of 48. The 48 times this 4 that's left, I could solve. I'm going to get 192. I'll subtract this minus this equals 336. So it's $336 more to hire the tumblers than the singing group. Hopefully that's what you got as well. All right? So why don't you go ahead and complete the rest of the problems in your math journal. There's another page of them doing these same concept of things that we did right here. Give that your best effort, and then come back and check the answers because they're going to be next coming up for you. So make sure that's what you're doing. That will be fabulous, and then we'll talk about it some more in class. If you need some help, don't panic. All right, here you go. Pause me and then come back for the answers. And here are the answers to that second page in your math journal. Going through these multiplication multi-step problems. Okay. All right, so now go ahead and give that home link a try if you're feeling good about it, and we will talk about it in class. Thanks. Have a great night.